And I'm back. This is, yeah, not good. Take two. And we're going to share it to Twitter. Okay. And then we're going to share it to the other Facebook group. Take two. Whew. Okay. I should have just paused a minute and went and got the coffee because I started it a few minutes early and I didn't mean to. I meant to go make me some decaf coffee. But that's okay. I'm here. Hello, everybody. I have an excellent connection. It's not telling me that my stuff is set at the wrong thing. OBS keeps resetting things just all on their own. So, yeah, I'm just making sure that I have all of the stuff where it's supposed to be. Stream helps. Good job. Okay. So I don't know who all's here. I'm going to give it a few minutes. This says coffee chat, but right now I have water because I didn't make my coffee. And I don't want to get lipstick all over. I don't mind getting the lipstick on my coffee cup. Okay. I had 2 likes on my other one. Oh well. What you see here is something I worked on. I did the watercolor of it for Patreon, and there's going to be a version of this very video of what of talking about my favorites. I'm going to hopefully have it up for YouTube on Friday. And I will have it up on Patreon, their version, tomorrow. And what I wanted to talk about, the reason I went ahead and put this right here is can actually get an idea of what I do. So there's Wednesday's bullet journal page. Here's what I did when I drew and watercolored some of my most favorite and most used art and journal supplies. And then this is where this is my time tracking, and then this is where I'm going to talk about stuff that's going on right now for this actual coffee chat. So I hope that, let me know, for those of you, if you're watching, if you can hear me okay, if everything is okay with this, if there aren't any problems, because let's see. Tracking, and then this is where I'm going to talk about. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, I can hear on there. Okay, so the first few years that I started adding art to my journal pages, I really didn't know much about art. I mean, I hadn't taken an art class since high school, so it had been about 30 years. I had doodled with pencil sketches and just pen, like ballpoint pen or a marker or something. But my daughter was an artist. She got accepted and won a partial scholarship to the art college in Savannah. So she knew quite a bit. So I did ask her about some things, and she gave me a set of Prisma colored pencils, a small set, the 12 count, and a 12 count set of Prismacolor watercolor pencils. And I bought an inexpensive Winsor Newton Cotman little travel watercolor kit. I also got that Artist Loft one, and I got the small Gonzai Tambi one. I had a number, I went through different stages. I think my praying watercolor set I used more than like a lot of them. Um, but I eventually got to a point where I kept moving up and kept moving up, and I moved up to the Jane Davenport watercolors. Ah, all right. Hello. And then after I moved up to the Jane Davenport watercolors, I moved up to artist grade watercolors. So I kept moving along. But when I first started, I didn't know very much about it at all. I really didn't know very much about what journal stuff there was out there. I did have quite a bit of FOMO. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's anxiety over fear of missing out. And I felt like I was missing out on these experiences because I didn't have the money to buy certain things like the 72 count Derwent Inktense pencils, or the 72 count of the Prismacolor colored pencils, or the artist grade watercolors, or the, these certain kinds of markers or certain kinds of fountain pens or whatever. When I first started, I had a preppy fountain pen that I got for $3 on Amazon, and then I went from that and I bought this platinum carbon, the desk pen. I ended up cutting part of it off, and so it's MacGyvered. And man, this is still, I've had this since then, and this is still one of my favorite things to draw with. But yes, FOMO and completionism. Yeah, I really did. I struggled with it. I mean, I didn't know if there was a big enough difference between what I was using and artist grade or student grade, or what the difference was really. And I started looking on YouTube, and I was struggling with things, and I was like, well, should I even invest in a little bit better? Because that's what they say it's all about, it's really about the paper that you use. It's not really about the brushes. It's about the paper that you use. Not really you can use really good paper and cheap watercolors will look good. But then there are other people who say, no, you really need to go ahead and start with artist grade, so, you're using the better quality because there is a big enough difference and blah, blah, blah. But I felt like I needed to kind of learn some techniques first. I mean, I needed to learn how to hold a brush. I needed to learn the different kinds of papers and the different kinds of brushes and the different kinds of watercolors. Some have honey, and some have gum arabic, and some have what is the other, some don't have any of that. Some are more vegan, some have actual minerals. What is on the end of it? Do you have a video on that? I want one of those pens. It's just, this came off of something, and the reason I put it on there is because it cracked a little bit, and because when I open it up, it's just one of those, like a furniture thing you put on the end of something. I don't remember what it came on, but it fit, and I used it. And so when I cap it, because it has that rubber thing on it, the cap will stay. You could actually use one of those little twisty rubber bands, or the little rubber bands that you use for braces, or all different, like an O-ring would work, I think, if it were, maybe go to a hardware store, any kind of little rubber thing. But I don't know what that came on. I'm a hoarder, kind of. When something comes in and it looks like I might need it for something, this could go on on eraser of a pencil, is what I originally thought. It could go on the eraser of a pencil, and if I were taking it somewhere, that way my eraser wouldn't get dirty in the bag or whatever. So that was why, but yeah, it is long, and I liked drawing with it long, but I didn't like taking it places with it long, so I kept thinking, though, if you're a beginner, you don't really have any real idea of the differences of things. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just redid them. They're little press-on ones. I love them for Halloween. So, when you first start journaling, though, you don't really know. Unless you've watched a whole lot of YouTube videos and you've kind of started getting ideas about what other people are doing, what other people like, and then that makes it a little bit easier. But I guess I could make my face just a little bit bigger so y'all can see me a little better. Okay, there we go. As a beginner, because you don't know very much about like what your preferences are and where your joy is going to lie. You know, you don't know what's really going to bring you joy. Is it going to be the watercoloring, or is it going to be adding pictures and using collage bits and maybe adding watercolor backgrounds, or maybe having stencils or stamps and watercoloring those in? You know, maybe you're not a big person. Maybe you don't want to draw. Maybe, you know, you want to use art that's from elsewhere. Or maybe you just want to use colored backgrounds and write over that, kind of do that kind of journaling. I mean, you really, you know, you have to figure out what supplies work for you. And the big thing was that there were so many people in the Fobonichi group, in the Hobonichi groups, on YouTube, you know, and in the journaling community, who one person in the art community, one person would say one thing and somebody else would say something else. So as I went through things, I realized if I were doing this all over again, some of my favorite art supplies right now are not my most used art supplies. There are still some things that I take out every now and again, and they're my favorites, but I don't use them on a regular basis. Now they're more precious. They're things that I use for projects and for different things like that, or I use them during different seasons. But my overall, like, if I had to make a choice, I'd say mixed media paper, really good mixed media paper, and Tomoe River paper. I prefer 68 GSM for art projects, and I like 52 GSM for writing and just a little lightweight watercolor. And I prefer Schmincke watercolors over Daniel Smith, but I really love Daniel Smith's series that has the, like that, oh, and now I can't think of it. Words are escaping me. Like the Primatech and stuff like that. I like those kinds of watercolors, which you don't really see in Schmincke. So, is everything going okay? I just want to make sure. And so as I started thinking, well, I don't, you know, some things that are my favorites now are completely different than they were back then, and they're completely different than what was on my wish list. Oh my gosh, my wish list was so long in the very beginning. I mean, there was so much journal stuff that I felt like I absolutely had to have, and if I didn't have it, then my journal pages weren't going to be any good. And I don't know why, because I've been journaling since I was in elementary school, and those pages were just fine. You know, I was kind of doing the smash book thing before there were ever smash books, adding receipts and stubs and pictures and, you know, bits from everyday ephemera, like a pamphlet or a postcard, or, you know, I'd tape in a letter. But back then I was using Scotch tape. We didn't know anything about any acid-free tape or, you know, archival or, you know, any of that. We didn't have any clue about that. I was in elementary school in the 70s, so yeah. That's when I really started journaling. By the time I was in middle school, I actually was doing more stuff, so I actually had more like everyday ephemera kind of stuff to put in my journals. I wish I still had those journals. I do not. But now, every now and again, I still get a little bit of FOMO. Still get a little bit of that. oh my goodness, you know, I'm comparing my stuff to other people's, and some of those people have been doing this a lot longer than I have. They have been to art school. Some of them have been to several art classes, you know, and I'm at point A or B or C on this trip, and they're at like E, F, G. Some of them are M, N, O, P, you know, and we're at completely different levels. It's like with writing, you don't ever compare your first draft to a finished draft. It's just, they're nowhere near the same. But I still do on occasion wish that my journal pages looked better, that they look more like so-and-so's, or that I could get them to look the way that I imagine in my head. And I'm looking at my stuff and I'm going, well, the composition, not so great. You know, this one turned out okay, but it's better than that last one, but still not quite there yet. Oh. And it's funny because that's how I think a lot of us are. We think, oh, well, my art is horrible, or oh, my handwriting is horrible. But are you journaling because you have pretty handwriting, or are you journaling to get your thoughts and ideas and feelings and your life on those pages? Are you documenting your life? Or are you just writing for pretty handwriting? Because you can practice handwriting, you know, if you really want to improve your handwriting. But I mean, I'm not journaling for my handwriting, and I'm not drawing or watercoloring for a contest. I'm doing it because I love it and it's fun and I enjoy it, and I'm memory keeping so that my loved ones will have something, a keepsake. And as they go through those journals, especially if they go through them chronologically, they're going to see, hey, wow, she got so much better. Or I think they'll be able to tell between when I'm having fun and when I'm being really serious. You know, when I'm doing illustrated stuff, this makes the Faber-Castell pen look really short and stubby, and this looks really fat and big. This pencil, I wasn't trying to make them the correct size. I was having fun drawing them. Some of them I drew bigger than they were. Some of them I drew smaller than they really were. The sketchbook is itsy bitsy compared to the glue stick. You know, I mean, I was drawing and having fun. You know, like this is a ticket stub, and that's because everyday ephemera is one of my very, very favorite things to put in my journal. Watercolor, doing drawings and watercoloring, adding pictures, and everyday ephemera. Those are my favorite things. I do like to collage a bit, like get things from the newspaper, magazines, all different kinds of things to put in my journal. You'll have to excuse me, I did not make coffee, so we're having a live coffee chat with no coffee, even though I was going to use decaf coffee. But this is good because this is, I'm on track here. Once I drink this, I will have drank all of the water I'm supposed to have for today. So I'm pat on the back here. Does anybody have any questions so far? Nobody's said anything for quite a little while, and I want to make sure that everything's okay. There's a little bit of lag between what I'm seeing and what I'm saying. Yay. Okay, so you're yaying because everything is good. And no, you don't have any problems. Okay, cool. There are supposed to be 11 people here watching, but I'm not getting... everything is great. Yay! Okay. So, one of the other things I noticed is that the more that I learned about things when it came to journaling, and what supplies I really enjoyed, is that one of my favorite things to do was to watch some of the artist hack videos, because they give you like real tips. Sometimes I think people say it's better if you order like the bigger thing, yay, over the water completion thing. Oh, okay. So, you know, like when I was first in the Fobonichi group, it was, the big thing was, well, you should just go ahead and order the 72 count of Derwent ink tints pencils, or the little blocks. But you know, I have 24 of them, and then I have a 24 count, I do believe, of Derwent watercolor pencils, and I use them, but I don't use them every day. I don't think, the only thing I think I would really want to have a large supply of like that is something I know I'm going to use every day. Back then, I knew I loved them. They were pretty. I had used one of them, but I also have Inktense graphite pencils, which I don't use very often. The last time I used one, really used it, was when I did the Chris Cornell thing for my husband. So sometimes I'll do more serious art, you know, but a lot of times when I'm doing my journal pages, these are for myself, my kids, my grandkids. You know, I'm not trying to make them look like masterpieces. Like, this was fun. I'm glad I didn't get a complete set of a lot of stuff now, but there are things that I do want the whole set of now that I know I will use them often. Exactly. So I can't think of the last time really that I used my Zig Real Color. I need to get them out and start using them again. I guess I should just go back to this page. Do you use normal colored pencils much? Okay. I noticed that there are a lot of people who are watercolorists, not the purist watercolorists, but more of the journaler watercolorists that use the Prismacolor use the Prismacolored pencils, or like colored pencils, to do detail. Like they'll go in and do shadows and things like that. You know, okay. For example, I have a brown. Okay, for example, we're going to make this look a little weathered. This is not a this is a watercolor pencil, but it's the same theory. Same theory. Make sure I don't hit the mic and hurt your ears. Okay, no. It doesn't really look like there's a whole lot of difference, but there's a little bit of difference. It makes it look a little bit darker in places, a little bit, thank you, you know, a little bit, I mean, I had fun with this. Like, the woman on here, I wasn't trying to draw her, but there is a woman on there, so, you know, this, let's see, where's the pen? Okay. There's the pencil that goes right there. Here's the Faber-Castell that's right here. I made this one short and stumpy. I don't even own... I have a pair of hair scissors. I didn't draw my actual scissors because I didn't really have room, so I just drew scissors. This I actually did. That's a Tombow marker. I hardly ever use those. I'm glad I didn't buy the whole set of those. There was a part of me that wanted to, but instead I bought the whole set of the Crayola Super Tips, which I don't regret, and I actually love them, and I use them quite a bit. Maybe later, if I ever decide I want to get more into lettering, then I will. I also use watercolor crayons, like the Crayola Super Tips, sometimes to add detail. But colored pen, okay, let's get to an actual colored pencil. Here's a blue one. Okay, here's a blue one. Where do I have blue? All right, here's some blue. Now I could go in here with a bunch of different watercolor pencils or colored pencils. I could come in here with that. But once I do that, it's going to be waxy. And the only thing I'm going to be able to use really on top of this is a ballpoint pen, or that I have one. Somewhere. I'll have to find it. One of those. I'll think of it. I can't think of it right now. Laundry things, like, that you can write on anything with, and it's permanent. Allie Brown was using them for a long while. I can't think of them. I have some. I even got my daughter some. I don't know. It'll come to me. And you can peel the thing and make it longer, and the little thing comes out, little pieces of what you start unpeeling, it starts coming off, and it turns into a little spiral pigtail kind of thing. Anyway, it'll come to me. It's a wax pencil. They have them in black and white. I've got the black ones. But anyway, like, you can do that. The journal. You know, you can, I sometimes, if it's something I'm going to want to scan, something I may want to make a PDF of, something I may want to take a picture of, maybe make bigger, or something I'm actually going to give as a gift, I will go in with the pencils, whether it's watercolor pencils or colored pencils, depending on what I'm doing, because of the waxy buildup. You can't think of the name either. I know the name. That's going to drive me absolutely nutty. I want to know if they're in here, if it's in here. Here it is, here it is, here it is. China marker. Okay, so if I'm going to journal, though, I don't like having that waxy thing on my journal, because I like writing with fountain pens or gel pens, or like these. That waxy stuff can mess up your pens, especially your fountain pens. So the only time I ever do colored pencils is when I know I'm not going to do anything over it. I'm not going to write it. No, it's actually a Sharpie peel off China marker. They have more expensive versions of these. Stabilo maybe has one. Mine's a Sharpie, but it's the China marker, and you just peel it off. See the little string? But they do have more expensive versions, but the Sharpie works fine for what I needed it for. So I tend to I couldn't think of the damn name either. I tend to, like, with my journal pages, I tend to use, sometimes I'll use my jelly rolls, sometimes I'll use a pen, sometimes I'll use the markers like the Crayola Super Tips to go in and add more detail. I've got quite a bit of stuff to fill in with this one. This is one of my favorite things. Oh my gosh, we were like being bombarded by flies. They were everywhere. And I even took the page out of the bullet journal because I had about this much. It was like 2 weeks worth of some bullet journal stuff from back in July when I flip-flopped before. And so I just put this in here. This is where I'm at trying to figure out what I'm actually doing, and I've got a very good idea. I know pretty much exactly what I'm doing for 2020 now. But I've got a lot of stuff I got to put in here. This is the one journal where I'm working out of chronological order, and I'm having fun with it. So I'm going to be ordering the Hobonichi A5 with the calendar. It's called the Dayless. When it comes out in November, I'm going to be ordering that. And then I'm also going to be ordering, I've talked to Bree already, and I'm ordering a notebook from her. I've got to get one more sketchbook because I'm doing these sketchbooks for Victor and Selena for my grandkids. And so I figured it out, and I'm going to be using the Hobonichi. I'm going to cut it down to B6. And it's going to be my bullet journal. And the journal from Bree will be my journal. This is a notebook from Bree. This is like my 5th or 6th one, maybe something like that. I love them. And then I'll have my sketchbook. My sketchbook is right here. Victor did that. I've shown this. I did that. Victor did this. So it's time for me to get out, do some more. But that's pretty much where I'm at with what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have a bullet journal, a journal, and a sketchbook. And then I'm going to have two sketchbooks that are journals, sketch journals or whatever. I'm using sketchbooks because they have mixed media paper and because they don't need a cover. They handle really well. And we'll be labeling them for the grandkids. I'm going to do like, just whenever whenever we spend time with them, or whenever they do something well, or something happens, or anything like that. Like if my daughter puts pictures, or I want to draw something, or they're over. How many books am I working in currently? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and a sketchbook. One bullet journal, one art journal, one whatever journal. There's my bullet journal. And then the Hobonichi A5 is my work. But for next year, I'm going to put it all together. And I'm doing time tracking. Too many. Too many. Too many. But I don't like doing the daily planning, which is here. And I got it. Don't like doing the daily planning on my actual journal pages where like I add art, where I document my life. Ouch. So here's like this is Tuesday and Wednesday. and I'm working on some stuff for a blog post so I can get back into blogging. This was Monday, which was my daughter's birthday, and I knew I wasn't really going to bullet journal a whole lot because I had family on over here the whole entire day. So I just put the pictures. This is a picture from me and my daughter for Mother's Day, like a few years ago. And so this, I like one notebook for pretty much, I do a lot of documenting my life in this, but because of the to-dos, my actual this has bullet journaling in it too, but I quit bullet journaling in October in here. So for example, this is Sunday's page. I've got to watercolor that. I started doing Monday's page here because, like I said, my daughter and my grandson and my mom were all here. I've been doing some other things. There's my granddaughter right there, my new desk right here. So you can see I do my journaling. I like B6, but if I have this much space for to-dos, that leaves me a lot less space for my journaling. So like back here, there were days where I had this, so I don't end up doing journaling. You know, like this is that page that and I don't like this. I mean, this is fine for this book if I'm taking notes or writing information down or ideas down, but for my actual documenting my life, memory keeping kind of thing, I don't want the bullet journal in it. So when I'm finished with that notebook, because it's thick and I spent quite a bit of money on it and I'm about halfway through it right now, hopefully it will last me for the rest of the year. But as far as like this goes, this is good because some days alright, let me go back to a day where it took 2 pages. Okay, this is Wednesday, and I started writing some notes about like self-care and stuff, and I did that on this page. And this is Tuesday, and it was all 2-page spread. This is my weekly thing right here. Which notebook do you use for your one book? I have many books on the go at all times. I try one book every now and then, but usually morph back into 5 or 6 books again. I think a lot of us do that. The bullet journal is in the Stology B6. This is a Nanami paper micro dot that was an A5, and I cut it down to B6. B5 or B6? I don't know what a B5 is. I know what the B6 is. It's good. It's A6, B6, and A5 are the 3 I use the most. But, and if I didn't write big, an A6 would probably work. But I write too big. So, this is Histology. And then this is a journal that Bree made. And it's got a mixture of mixed media paper and Tomaway River paper in it. B5 is between A4 and A5. Well, A4 is definitely too big for me. I think A4 is bigger than A5, right? Because B6 is 5x7. So let's see what size is B5. Okay, so according to Google, a B5 is 6.9 times 9.8 inches. B4 is 9.8 times 13.9. So it's a bit bigger. Because here they have B6 is 4.9 by 6.9. But my B6s are 5x7. A4 is letter size. Yeah. I use these sizes are strange for the US. See, I like B6. B6 is probably my favorite size. Now for writing, like if I were doing, like when I do Dear Diary journaling, or I'm taking notes on things like for school or for a project I'm trying to learn or anything like that, I like A5 or composition notebook size. And I don't know exactly what that size is, but I like A5 probably. That A5 makes sense to me. Yeah, I'd say A5, B6, and A6 are my favorite sizes. A6 works really good for on the go. I like more square. I don't like I don't like B6 slim. It's too skinny. I write big. I want width. I want width across the page. I don't. So yeah. Like I wouldn't mind having like a 6x6 or 7x7 notebook. I know that probably sounds weird to some people, but I wouldn't mind. I don't think having that size, like 6x6 or 7x7 for 6x6 would probably be a pretty good size. Yeah, the TN is long and thin, and I don't work well on that either. Not the original, like the Midori. I'm not a big standard size, and I don't like the weeks. I can work with in my purse, but I'm actually thinking more and more that maybe the A6 Hobonichi is better for my purse than the weeks, and so I might be selling my navy blue deluxe weeks cover. I don't know what Outlander one it is. It's one of those. Anyway, it's the navy blue leather with the white stitching, I think, and has the pockets and stuff in it. The Weeks Chic Sparrow. But I think, yeah, I think I'm probably going to get the A6 size with the calendar and the day free, and the A5 calendar and the day free, and the A6 is going to go in my purse, and the A5 is going to get cut down to B6, and that's going to be my bullet journal. And I'll probably end up using 2 of those for the whole entire year, and then using 1 for my purse for the whole entire year. I doubt very seriously if I need 2 for my purse, because that's where I put appointments and jot down notes and take my grocery. I put my grocery list in that, and it's sort of an everyday carry, but I don't go out every day. I go out 2 or 3 times a week, and that's it, and do things. So I don't really need, but if I'm at the doctor's office, I need something with me, and that's usually, so I think that might work. I don't need a cover. I don't change out Hobonichi covers really. I have a couple of A6 TNs, and I have an A6 plain black Hobonichi cover, and then I have the alphabet thing on the outside of it, and it's somewhere over there. But right now my my craft table is a wreck. I've got to clean it. Everybody went like crazy about the B6 Slim, and I tried Nanami Paper's Cafe Note or whatever it was, the B6 Slim thing. I couldn't stand it. It's too skinny. If I had really little handwriting, it would probably work okay. It's like the passport size and the field note size and stuff like that. I like those for jotting down notes, for running to-do lists, but that's not going to be my journal. No way could that be my journal. You know? I could throw one of those in my purse or in a little field notes TN or passport, and it could be my, you know, if it had a calendar in it and a little notebook for notes, then it'd be fine for like on the go. But not for me to journal. I need a journal. Like, I need at least some size in my journal. A6, I probably could, but it couldn't be dated because that one little tiny page in the A6 Hobonichi would never be enough space for me to journal on for a day. Ever. So, the only reason you carry yours is for lists and the month calendar in it. That's why you're thinking of going to the bigger size. My little A6 is wonderful, but I don't do much art in it because of size. Yeah, see, yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Let me see if I can find the A5 and this mess of stuff that I have up here. I cleaned out because this desk does not have drawers, and my desk has drawers. My old desk that I got rid of. I know it's here somewhere. I don't know. I'll find it. But anyway, yeah, my weeks doesn't have very much in it. It has stuff on the calendar, and it has stuff. The A6 I can't find either right now. But neither one of them have a whole lot of stuff in it. I was going to use the A6 for like journal prompts or watercolor prompts, doodle wash, something, but I can't stick with those lately. This past year and part of last year, I guess the last couple of years, I cannot, as soon as there's a prompt that I'm like about, then I stop and I quit, and I need to go ahead and catch up with the Inktober. Maybe I'll do that sometime this week. And, you know, I don't know. I didn't want to make this about, like, pressuring myself, though. It really should be fun. So I might just go through the Inktober list and do the ones that I really enjoy, that look fun to me, and then not worry about the other ones, you know? I don't know. I just, whenever it starts to feel like, to me, and it's not fun anymore, then I don't know about staying. Have you tried sewing another homebound book again? No. I talked to Bree, and I could sew the book together. I don't have any trouble with that, but I can't make a cover work right on it. When Bree, here, for example, let's do this. Because mine fell apart, and then the other one I took apart. Okay, so when Bree, I sent her the red waxed so that mine would have the red thread. I missed that, Abigail. I'm sorry. That was way up there. But see how pretty hers looks? Okay, and when you open, I sent her some scrapbook paper. You can see how tightly hers is. And you can see how, I'll take this off. You can see this is my damn fountain pens not wanting to work with that sketch ink. So you can see how tightly hers are. I mean, hers are tight. Mine, not. So, I'm going to cover up my ink stain page with that. So, I might later on go back. I've got the stuff to make them. I just don't have any more paper. I ran out of paper. I have to buy some more paper. But I might later on try to make my journal again. I mean, my sketchbook that I made has been fine. My sketchbook's good to go, but that paper's thicker and the cover's thicker. I didn't use this kind of cover thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, she's had lots of practice. She's been doing it for years and years and years. And my thing just came off. I'm going to have to get David to fix that with a soldering iron. So I told her if she ever quits making the journals, I'm just going to send her a bunch of paper and let her charge me one real big fee and make me a bunch of journals. She's such a sweetheart. Bree is such an absolute sweetheart. And she's so talented. I would so take her classes. If she taught art classes, journal classes, any kind of those kind of classes, I would so take them in a heartbeat. Look at that. She has the touch. I do not have the touch. Not even me neither. I don't have the touch either, y'all. I don't. Not even remotely. I mean, I can, like I said, I can do the inside part, but it still doesn't come out quite tight enough. I noticed I did it way better when I was working with mixed media paper than with the Tomaway River paper. I did a much better job with the mixed media paper than I did with the Tomaway River paper. And I guess what I ought to do is kind of practice making mixed media ones. And then once I get that down, you know, she even sent me a little video of her showing me how to do like a cover. And I tried. And mine did not turn out like hers. Remotely. My cover, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But as long as she's making journals, I'm going to be getting her journals. That's all I know. Because I hem-hawed around. I was like, do I want the Enigma? Now, I may end up getting the Enigma to use as a bullet journal instead of the Hobonichi with the calendar and the day-free things, because I can cut the Enigma down. Do I want one book for the whole year for a bullet journal, or do I want two? The one with the two already has the calendars drawn, but I have to cut it down. The one where I have one for the whole year, I'd have to make my own calendars, but I still have to cut that down because unfortunately there aren't very many people out there who sell B6 Tomaway River paper notebooks that have dot grid. Breeze are plain. They're plain Tomaway River paper. Which I'm good with journaling with, but not bullet journaling. Let me get one that's full so you can really see. So this is the second one. Isn't that pretty? You see what a chunky monkey this is? So I did do some, I love the vellum. I think I'm going to ask her to put the vellum back in. This is when I did the collab with her, and I had the PDF for the, I drew the little, I don't do bullet journal. I went back, I was trying to do bullet journaling again, and see, you see, bullet journaling in my journal just does not work. Amy had sent me a package, a care package, and that was in the care package. This stuff was in there. This was last year. I got the gouache, the Karen Diaz gouache. This was a card from somebody. I did this from that. This was the stuff that came with what Amy sent me. These were, I wrote down the people that were my favorite YouTubers. It's been a long time since I did that. I probably ought to do it again. It's been a good while since I did that. Really, for me, the journaling pages is a mood thing. This is, I drew the tree in pencil. I had an artist date. I made muffins, blueberry muffins. We got a new little heater. See, I just like drawing the frogs. I don't. This was Victor dressed up as Cat in the Hat at school. These were my, this was what the top of my cart looked like when I was finished cleaning it. My nephews, and one of my nephews and Victor. I never did finish that page. There were supposed to be some pictures. Tooth. Yeah, I got a thing in the mail to go back to the dentist, and I had to have my teeth pulled. So this is a thing, like somebody sent me some stuff in the mail, and I used bits of what, that's an old picture of my son. So I used like different things because it said peek inside. I did like doing the frogs. It's when I got my pilot vanishing point. That was present. Your pages are so inspiring. Thank you. The recliner, and I was talking about it. We need to steam clean this recliner so bad. It's a really old Lazy Boy. It's the back when they guaranteed them for a lifetime, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's comfortable, but it has stains on it, and I need to steam clean it so that it doesn't have stains. This was Mrs. Toothstar. This is from my dentist appointment. I drew. This was inspired by Courtney Diaz. My medicine. I had to go back to the dentist, and this is when I went. And see, she's got her little journal and her pencil, and I did this and made her pants out of washi tape. This was some journaling. trying to do different things. I use some stamps and I use some acrylic. Like, I'm not real big, but thank God this piece is mixed media paper. So I tried. I do not like, here's my thing with that whole art journal where you use acrylic and stuff like that. If I make all this stuff, and then as soon as I start covering up part of the stuff I spent all this time creating, I'm like, why in the hell did I even bother to do that? So I don't like that kind. Like this I'm okay with because it's got watercolor in the background, and then I've got stamps in the background. Like that's a dragonfly and it looks like a lily pad. So you can kind of see them in the background of this. But I watercolored this and then glued it on there. And I'm okay with that kind. But this, that's why I ended up just writing over this, because this is revised page. Because I just don't like doing that kind of, yeah. If I'm going to spend a bunch of work, I'm going to spend a bunch of time and effort and energy. Hey, John. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to spend that kind of time, I'm not covering up what I already spent all this time working on. That's why me and that kind of art journaling don't get along. But you can see, like, there's a few blank pages that I didn't go back in and do. And then this was fun. I want to get some more of that washi tape. I really like the colored pencil washi tape. And that's another thing I did. Just kind of playing around with tip ends. It was a rainy day. And I did this way back. I was using that, what is that stuff called? Where is my jar of it? I don't know right now. I have to clean and find it. The stuff that you put down, you put it down, and when you watercolor over it, when the watercolor dries, then you can pull up the white. Pull up that stuff, rub that stuff off, and then you have the white underneath it. On what kind of paper is the blue mug? This one? This one. Oh. That's like wax paper. This is masking fluid. Yes, thank you, Susan. You know the stuff that you use for typing? It's like a wax. I got a whole thing of it because you actually can do stuff on it. I haven't done any for a while, so I might have to do some. Onion skin paper is, I think, what it's called. I think this is onion skin paper. Did you do the water splotches on purpose or accidental on the rainy day? I did them on purpose. See, I did them two different ways, and then I made the windowsill. Because I was doing the masking fluid. I was showing a video on YouTube, on Patreon, about the masking fluid, or on YouTube. I can't remember now. But I ended up doing them two different ways. And one was with a crayon, I think, and one was with masking fluid, doing different resist. Yeah, that is, I believe, onion skin. Now this is vellum. That's watercolor paper right there. And that's vellum. And this was me playing around. Having some fun with watercolor and stuff. This was when I was feeling some stress and overwhelm. And white deli paper. Yeah, that paper I have is not white. It's like a off-white. Or it looks more tea stained, but I like playing around with all different kinds of paper. If I get something in the mail, or I ran into somebody and they have something and it has like a little piece of paper or whatever, I like all different kinds of pieces of paper. So Victor, Easter. So as you can see, I mean, my journal pages are like, I never did finish that one either. I like her stickers. I need to get some more of those stickers. I can't afford all this journal stuff though. That's why you see me use stuff that comes in the mail or stuff that I have on hand. Because if I bought stickers from everywhere I wanted to buy stickers from, I would be broke. Have you used rice paper? No, I don't think I've used rice paper yet. So we had these really pretty doves and other little birds, robins, and all kinds of stuff in our yard. And this damn hawk came. We have a bird bath and a bird house, where we put actual bird seed out to feed them. And do you know that damn hawk killed one of our little white doves that come in our yard? Oh my God, I was so upset. I have a whole roll that I don't know what to do with. Neat ideas. I'll look up stuff about rice paper. I don't know. I haven't had any rice paper, so I'll have to see. This was fun. This was okay. People ask me about personal journaling in my journal. I did some personal journaling in my journal, and I did it with a fountain pen with the rose scented colored ink that is not waterproof. And after I wrote about it and I got everything out, then I watercolored over it in different shades, and you can still see like words will pop up, but you can't really read it. So these were art supplies, April supplies, and my thoughts about them. Hello, May. Victor got this card about the humpback whale, and I drew it. He wanted me to draw it in my journal. Wisteria. David, oh my gosh. We tried chocolate flavored Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes is David's favorite cereal, and he, oh my gosh, they went like that. Like, he ate like a huge mixing bowl full of them. I was like, oh, you got to slow down. Got a new, what you call it, for the internet. Just journaling. Lots of times when you see that kind, that means I've been doing like journaling. I never did write on that page. We fed the birds and stuff, but we were trying to keep an eye out to make sure the hawk didn't. The eyes are wrong in this. I thought I did a pretty decent, but I messed up with the eyes. So that was fun. I like doing different things. This was practicing. That's David and Victor. I had this, and I cut these out and did them like these, cut them out to the shape and did the pencil on there to what I wanted them to be. And then this is fun. So this is one of my daughter's the college graduation. That's my daughter and me and my son. And there's Victor and Day Day. And Victor, I have a note from Victor. And I did that. And this lifts up. And that's a little note about it. And I had gotten some stuff for, I think this was Mother's Day presents. And then I thought this was really cute. I wanted to put a picture there and I never did. That was actually a leaf. That came in some mail from one of my patrons, and it's a bay leaf and it's for good luck and it says friendship, blessings, laughter and stuff, and I put that on there. Okay, your idea of using the non-waterproof fountain pen ink for more private journaling is brilliant. I have some really nice colors but shy away from using them because they aren't waterproof. Now I have a use for all those gorgeous fountain pen inks. Yes, I have several different ones. Like I have that turquoise teal color by the Irazuzuku, whatever that one is. I have blood orange, which I really love, and I have oxblood. I tend to use that teal color because it comes up lighter in the spring, summer months, and then I use the blood orange or red in the fall and winter months, depending. Like if it was snowing, I probably would use the blue and maybe some silver watercolor paint or something to kind of go over it. But if it was snowing or something, you know, depending on how the colors make me feel. I had a lot of fun with that. Some of this is gouache, like the really bright bold stuff is gouache. And we're getting close to the end. I like to find things from like magazines or newspapers or whatever, and when they have comic strips that really make me laugh, I like to use those. I still want my red vanishing point. Maybe I can get that for Christmas. I have the blue one in a fine or extra fine. I want the red one in a medium nib. David got a telescope. I like this makeup stuff looked like watercolor to me. It looked like art supplies instead of makeup. I've been letting my gray hair grow out for over a year. I think I finally have gotten to a good point. So these were my 2018 resolutions, and this is pretty much at the end. That was the books I read, which I never filled in. This was my letter to myself of my year in pixels, which I never did. And this was another one. Okay, this is one of my favorites. So I did this, the mosquitoes in South Carolina. That was the boat. That was a doodle wash. These were doodle wash prompts. That was the sunshine. I did pretty good, but I didn't do very well with David's face. That's the park, the fish, the beach, iced tea, barbecue, river rocks, watermelon, squash, Picnic. Heavenly Hash or Rocky Road ice cream. The giraffe. Lemonade. My backpack. That's actually what my backpack looks like. I love this. I love this. I wouldn't mind having a journal with that on it. This was the Cocoa, I think. Romany was doing a video with this and I followed along. Pool prompt. I was sent a little bit of Happy Meal. I put that in there. Strawberry. The lake. Victor went to the aquarium. Popsicles. That's a tip in right there, because this is 4th of July. That's a tip in. That was when those boys in Thailand, they got caught in the cave and they got rescued. And I really want to get another one of those things from her. That's my old desk. So there's a few blank pages in, but anyway, that gives you an idea. I love the river rocks page. When I did the river rocks, I don't know if I did those online. I don't. So, where I'm at with this, so I have stuff to fill in. Like, I have pictures to put and a watercolor to do there. Some more stuff to put there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a video where I did that or not. I don't know. It would be a watercolor with me or a journal with me, most likely. I'll have to. Most of the time I put them in the journal with me or the watercolor with me playlist. And now this was that summer of 2018, so this was last summer. And I was doing that. Okay, y'all, I have been on here for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm so sorry I messed up with the very first one. Love the River Rocks page. Do you have... wait a minute. I seen Romney's live earlier and how she created the hashtag finish the damn book. Yes, yes. Which journals are you planning to finish for 2019? Okay, well, I'll answer that before I go because that's why I'm back in this one. So I have this one, and this is one of the ones, I started this after One Book July. This is the Nanami paper micro dot that I cut down. And it has bullet journaling in it and journaling in it. That's when my granddaughter was born. So I'm going to finish this. I am currently, This was Monday's page. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm finishing up Monday's page because I have some pictures to print. Victor and my daughter and my mom and Selena and all. They were over here for my daughter's 28th birthday. So I'm going to finish this page. And then I will work on some more. But so I'm on page like 211. And there's like 480, 450, 480, something like that pages in this thing. So I'm hoping that I can finish this by the end of the year. And then, so this is my actual, like, I do all my regular daily stuff in here. This, excuse me, I'm sorry. This has become my random, like, my sketchbook, because I really want to finish this too, because I'm getting a new book for next year from Bree. I'm ordering a new one. I'm ordering it next month so I can get it in by the end of December. And I want to finish this and the other one, the micro dot. No, the micro dot. If this helps. Does that help? I think they're probably 3, maybe. I'm not quite sure. But the micro dot is from Nanami Paper. That's the name of the journal. It is... $5mm grid, dot grid. It's 5mm dot grid. So I'm not worried about finishing the bullet journal. Because I do a lot of writing, and that finishing the bullet journal is not the issue. I don't really need to flip around with the bullet journal. It's this. Because it's starting to get like but for all of these, all 3 of these, I'm going to finish the damn book. Now, I do say, like Ryder says, when it comes to the beginning of the year, then you start a new one. So if I have some left in this, you know, it'll be okay. But I'm going to continue this until December 31st. And this one too. And this one too. So that would be finishing the damn book. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to, until they run out of pages or until December 31st. So, yeah. That's what I'm doing. So like I said, I'm reducing down for next year. I'm going to have the day free Hobonichi. I'm going to cut down the A5 to B6. And I'm going to have a journal from Bree. And if I count it out right, I should have 4 journals for the year. It should take me 4 for a year, because it took usually it takes me about 3. It takes me through 3.5 months in a journal if I don't 3 months if I don't bullet journal in it. Maybe 4 months, depending. It might even last 4 months. So then I'd only need 3 of these for 4 months. Because some days so this is my random, I don't know what people are calling it. Maybe my wonder book. I don't know. This is where extra stuff goes, where I'm doing something and it doesn't really need to go in my bullet journal, and it's not really going in my document, my life journal. So that's where this stuff is going. Anybody got any other questions? If not, then I will see y'all again soon. I'm going to try to put together some more video footage. And yeah, I've got a request for a few videos, so those are going to be coming soon. And I think I covered all of that. I think yeah. I got to go through the bullet journal and look where I wrote that down so I can make sure I'm headed on the right track here with the videos that people requested. And then I'm going to go get me a snack. I've got an apple and some peanut butter calling my name while I watch some TV and journal. And I will see y'all later. Bye, y'all.